Hi, welcome back to another level 1 tables, equations and graphs video. We continue chatting about the exponential graphs, and in this video we're going to chat about developing an exponential rule from a table. Right, straight into example 1. Here's a table, some x and y values, and we're going to develop an exponential rule from this table. Now here's the exponential rule. Y is equal to some number a to the power of x. We might have plus or minus some number b with the x, and then we might have plus or minus c at the end. Right, the first thing you might notice is if I go 1 times 3, I get 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. So everything's been multiplied by 3 in the y column. Now that's the whole point of what we call an exponential, a growth. It's growing by a multiplication way. Once you figure that out, straight away you can write down the rule. Y is equal to 3 to the power of x. The 3 has come from the multiplication of 3. So the value of a is what we multiply by. Right, well, that's example 1 done, nice and easy. You might have used a different strategy. Here's another one. It's just guess and check. By just saying, well, let's guess a number like 3 and go 3 to the power of 0, 3 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 4, and so on. And you would have guessed that 3 is the number of a. All right, so this is kind of like a puzzle strategy. You sometimes guess and check was brilliant. Sometimes you can spot timesing 3, timesing 3. All right, let's move on to example 2. It gets a bit trickier. So here's the exponential rule, and let's see if we can work out what the values of a or b or c if we have them all. Now here again, I've chosen to work with 3. So 9 times 3 is 27, 27 times 3 is 81, and so on. Or you could have just used the strategy of guess and check. 3 to the power of 0, 3 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 2. If you didn't start with 3 and you started with something like 2, you'd go 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, until you worked out what is the value of a. Now again, if we treat the powers as the x and the numbers that we get it equal to as our y, I think you've spotted something going on. The y values seem to match up, but they don't match up correctly with our x values, because 3 to the power of 0 is 1, but in the table, when x is 0, we have 9. 3 to the power of 1 is 3, but in the table, when x is 1, we get 27. So things are not matching up, and that's a small problem here. Here's the trick to get around it. Because if I go 3 to the power of 0, I don't get 9, I get 1. But if I go 0 plus 2 more, 0 plus 2 is 2, and 3 to the power of 2 makes 9. So here's the rule I'm going to use. Y is equal to 3 to the power of x plus 2 more. So when x is 0, we're going to plus 2 onto it and go 3 to the power of 2 to get 9. When x is 1, we're going to add 2 more to get 3 to the power of 3, which is 27. When x is 2, we're going to add 2 more. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So the trick is to add 2 more onto our value of x to get the correct y values. Right, here's our third example, and this is also a little tricky one. Here's our exponential function, and once again, I've picked an example that had 3 to the power of something. But again, notice something that's going on. Our x and our y values don't match up. When we go 3 to the power of 0, we should get 1, but in the table we've got 3. When I go 3 to the power of 1, I get 3, but in the table I have 5. When I go 3 to the power of 4, I should get 81, but in the table I get 83. But hang on a second, 81 plus 2 more makes 83. 27 plus 2 more makes 29. 1 plus 2 more makes 3. So it looks like my y values are the same y values with 2 more. Everything's got 2 more added. So here's my rule. Y is equal to 3 to the power of x. It's still 3, but I'm going to plus 2. That's my value of c, because I'm going to plus 2 to my final answer to increase everything by 2. All right, a couple of tricky things in here, and it's going to take a little bit of practice and a little bit of time, but thanks very much for watching and listening in.